ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You can kindly flash the shloka, please. Go a little up. Okay, thank you. So thank you very much for inviting me on the Zoom platform to the African continent. I'm grateful to all the devotees there. Today we are studying from Srimad Bhagvatam. Enough. Srimad Bhagvatam. Little bit up, please. Bas, thank you. Srimad Bhagvatam, second canto, second chapter, verse number 22nd. Yadi prayasyanrupa parameshtam. Just wait, Prabhuji. I'm reading Sanskrit.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yadi prayasyanrupa parameshtam vaihayasana mutayada viharam ashtadipatyam gunasannivaye सहैव गच्छेन् मनसेन्द्रियैश्च यदि प्रयास्यन् नृपपार्यमेष्ट्यं वैहायसानामुत यद्विहारम् अष्टाधिपत्यं गुणसन्निवाये सहैव गच्छेन् मनसेन्द्रियैश्च यदि प्रयास्यन् नृपपारमेष्ट्यं वैहायसानामुत यद्विहारम् अष्टाधिपत्यं गुणसन्निवाये सहैव गच्छेन् मनसेन्द्रियैश्च. Now you can go up. Yadi, however, prayasyan, maintaining a desire, Nripa, O king, Parameshtyam, the governing planet of the material world, Vaihayasanam, of the beings known as Vaihayasas, Uta, it is said, Yat, what it is, Viharam, place of enjoyment, Ashta Adipatyam, lording it over the eightfold achievements, Gunasannivaye, in the world of three modes of material nature, Saha, along with, Eva, certainly, Gacheta, should go, Manasa, accompanied by the mind, Indriyai, the senses, Cha, also. Please go up. Translation. However, O king, if a yogi maintains a desire for improved material enjoyments, like the transference to the topmost planet Brahmaloka, or the achievement of eightfold perfections, travel in outer space with the Vaihayasas, or a situation in one of the millions of planets, then he has to take away with him the materially molded mind and senses. Purport by his divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. In the upper status of the planetary systems, there are facilities thousands and thousands times better and greater than material enjoyments. Let me read again. In the upper status of planetary systems, there are facilities thousands and thousands of times greater for material enjoyments than in the lower planetary systems. The topmost planetary systems consist of planets like Brahmaloka and Dhruvaloka, the pole star, and all of them are situated in beyond Maharloka. The inhabitants of those planets are empowered with eightfold achievements of mystic perfection. They do not have to learn and practice the mystic processes of yoga perfection and achieve the power of becoming small like particle, Anima Siddhi, or lighter than a soft feather, Laghima Siddhi. They do not have to get anything, they do have to get, sorry, they do not have to get anything and everything from anywhere and everywhere. That is Prapti Siddhi. To become heavier than the heaviest, Mahima Siddhi. To act freely, even to create something wonderful or to annihilate something at will, Ishitva Siddhi. To control all material elements, Vashitva Siddhi. To possess such power as will never be frustrated in any desire, Prakamya Siddhi. Or to assume any shape or any form one may even whimsically desire, Kama Vashiyata Siddhi. All these experiences are as common as natural gifts for the inhabitants of those of higher planets. They do not require any mechanical help to travel to outer space. They can move and travel at will from one planet to any other planet within no time. The inhabitants of the earth cannot move even to the nearest planet except by mechanical vehicles like spacecraft. But the highly talented inhabitants of such higher planets can do everything very easily. Since a materialistic person is generally inquisitive to experience what is actually in such planetary systems, he wants to see everything personally. As an inquisitive person's tour all over the world to gain direct local experience. The less intelligent transcendentalist similarly desires to have some experience of those planets about which he has heard so many wonderful things. The yogi can, however, easily fulfill his desire by going there with the present materialistic mind and senses. The prime benediction, prime inclination of the materialistic mind is to lord it over the material world. And all the siddhis mentioned above are features of domination over the world. The devotees of the Lord are not ambitious to dominate a false and temporary phenomenon. On the contrary, a devotee wants to be dominated by the supreme predominator, the Lord. Desire to serve the Lord, the supreme predominator, is spiritual or transcendental, and one has to attain this purification of the mind and the senses to get admission into the spiritual kingdom. With the materialistic mind, one can reach the best planet in the universe, but no one can enter the kingdom of God. Senses are called spiritually purified when they are not involved in sense gratification. Senses require engagements, and when the senses are engaged totally in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, they have no chance to become contaminated by material infections. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for patiently hearing the purport given by Srila Prabhupada. So now we can remove the screen share. Thank you very much. Welcome everybody. And I am here speaking to you from the lap of Himalayas at the banks of Bhagirathi Ganga at Uttarkashi. And it is very cold here and very nice, pleasant. So this is like another heavenly planet that I am residing now. It is very relevant to the description given in this verse. Nonetheless, this verse is very informative, and Srila Prabhupada's purport is also very informative about various things. So, the first and foremost item, which is mentioned in the shloka, however, O king, if a yogi maintains a desire for improved material enjoyments, which itself means that a yogi may still have material desires. A yogi is not a complete and perfect situation. And the yogi which is meant over here is Ashtanga yogi. All the yogis which are other than Bhakti yoga. These yogis are performing lots of material activities, trying to control their senses by yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, dhyan, dharana, pratyahara and samadhi. This eightfold mystic yoga system. And scriptures explain that even after performing all these mystic yoga practices, still one maintains material desires. And what are those material desires? They're not like us. The yogis have different level of material desires. We have desire for having a better car, better house, or get more money, go to a better house to stay, or travel to places to enjoy. But yogis have desire to go to another planet, like Brahmaloka, like Dhruvaloka, the pole star, like Maharloka. And what happens there? Why it is so attractive to them? These are like superlative types of material desires. Our material desires are very base material desires. We want to have more bodily pleasures, eat nice food, and wear nice clothes and do many things. These are really gross material desires. But there are subtle desires, like to get profit, to get adoration, to have distinction from others, and to be adored by people, to be respected by people, to have high position, to become a leader, to have a lot of followers, to get praised. And higher than that is to go to Brahmaloka, the highest planet in the material world. And interestingly, what is happening there? Everybody is born there with natural Ashtasiddhi, the eightfold mystic powers. So just for the sake of knowledge, I mean, even if you don't know this, it doesn't make any difference in life of bhakti. But as Prabhupada has taken so much pains to explain, let me also recite those. There are 8. So in these planets, there are 8 mystic yoga perfections available just by birth only. There is no need to go to school there or Gurukul there and then learn and get, expert. Like I always tell, the monkey is a born Olympic champion in gymnastics. He doesn't have to go to a gymnastics school and train himself hard and then come to Olympics, qualify and then get gold medal. He's already, all monkeys are born gold medalist in gymnastics. The worldly gymnastic champion in the Olympics will be easily debated by a baby monkey also. The way the baby monkey performs, even the best of champions in Olympic gymnast Cannot perform. Like that, because by birth they are gymnastics, in gymnastic perfection. So what is happening in these great planets? Everybody is having these 8 siddhis, which I'm going to explain to you. But a very important point Shukdev ji is explaining here. If we have desires of going to such planets, then we have to take with us our materially molded mind and senses. That is the big problem. This materially molded mind and senses, they will keep us bound in the material world of repeated birth and death. Otherwise, there's no problem in going to Brahmaloka. But we cannot stay there eternally. Kshane punye martaloke vishanti. Whenever our pious activities, which make us fit to go to those planets, when the pious activities end, in other words, punya, qualifying punya ends, Kshane punye martya loke vishanti. Again, we have to come back to martya loka. That means earthly planet of birth and death. So what is the point of going temporarily over there to experience the Ashtasiddhis for only some time? The mind, the soul, our whole existence, the need is to eternally stay in a happy, enjoying place. That is our need. It is not that we have a need to always hop, skip, and jump from place to place to enjoy little things for little time. No. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera Nityadas. And what is the other nature of the soul is? The first nature of the soul is it is eternally part and parcel of the Lord, and the other nature is to always be with the Lord, eternally enjoying transcendental spiritual bliss in the spiritual world with the Lord and his loving devotees. So there's no point. There's no point that we are trying to go to Brahmaloka. But nonetheless, there are 8 mystic powers. First is anima. It's interesting to know because many people in this realm of Himalayas, they have these siddhis. The first one is to anima, smaller, to become smaller than the smallest. Anu matra. You can even travel through 2 atoms. You can become so small. The second siddhi is lagima. You can become lighter in the weight than the lightest of all the entities or the things. Then there is Mahima Siddhi. Mahima Siddhi means you can become heavier than the heaviest in the existing body. Then the most interesting Siddhi is Prapti Siddhi. The word itself means Prapti means to get. You can get anything that you want instantly. Even if you want a planet for yourself or a planetary system for yourself, you can get it immediately by the power of Prapti Siddhi. Prapti means to get. Ishitva. Ishitva means to create or destroy anything at will. It's also another power because Lord Brahma has power to create. Lord Shiva has power to destroy. So it's a very amazing power. Sometimes we want to destroy somebody instantly because we are insulted by them. But we don't have power to destroy them. Or sometimes we want to create something like a ghostly element to attack somebody because they have destroyed us or disturbed us. So Ishitva. Then there is Vashitva. Vashitva means to control material elements. This reminds me of Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni had come to King Kunti Bhoja, where Kunti was residing. And Durvasa Muni performed a long vrata, a long anushtan, or long tapasya, you can say, to achieve control over material elements. That means Pancha Mahabhuta or demigods or all the controlling powers or controlling authorities of the whole universe. He had finally achieved control over all of these controlling authorities, including Pancha Mahabhuta and all demigods. So he had Vashitva. He achieved Vashitva, and by which he could just chant a mantra and any demigod will come running to serve the mantra. and provide you whatever you need, especially a child or a son or something like that. So much control, and who will not be allured by such control? Oh, I can control Indra, I can control Chandra, I can control Surya. Wow, wonderful. So interesting. And then comes prakamya. Prakamya means to get something which will never frustrate you. Why this special siddhi is there? When other things are there, prapti siddhi already is there to get whatever you want. But there is a possibility to get frustrated because all the happiness derived by anything or any material mystic power is temporary. Even though you have mystic power to create something or create a planet to live on, the planet has life and it has end also. It has birth, it has life, it has end also. So there's always a possibility in the material world to get frustrated. In today's world, in today's times, the only striking feature, overwhelming feature of the life around us is frustration. We see most people are frustrated with what they have, with what the desire they have to have something, they don't have that. So with whatever they have, they are frustrated. They don't have something, they are frustrated. And the experience they get while enjoying those things, they are frustrated. So overwhelming feature of today's material world is frustration. So Prakamya Siddhi will assure that we will not get frustrated. It sounds very funny actually. And the last one is Kama Vasayita. To assume any whimsical form or shape as per your desire. I mean, you can become a potato immediately. Or you can become a lady's finger, or you can become a pumpkin, or you can become a gorilla monkey, or become a demigod, or you can become a woman, or you can become a man or a living entity which has got face in the chest, or only one eye. There were so many demons like that. Kabanda was a demon who had a face in his chest with one eye only. And there are demons who had 3 heads and 6 arms and 9 legs and so many things, very funny. I really don't understand what kind of happiness will be there to have so many forms which are whimsical in nature. Itself is mentioned over here. But still there are people who have such kind of desires. Because mind is so expansive, unbelievably expansive. Mind can harbor so many desires. One cannot even imagine. You cannot imagine at age 5 what you will desire at age 55. You cannot imagine what you will desire when you are in the fag end of life, We see or we know so many patients, they are 90-year-old on almost a deathbed, but still eyes are running behind a young nurse who is treating the patient. So we don't know what the mind will desire, what point of time, whether we will have capacity to enjoy the object we are looking at, but still desire will be there. And the desire is coming from the mind and the senses. It is arising in the mind, expressed through senses, directed by intelligence. The intelligence which is not purified with scriptural knowledge and enlightenment, such contaminated intelligence provokes the mind to desire something which is independent of the Lord, not connected with the Lord, for gratification. And this gratification is done through senses. And sense gratification is not just gross all the time. It also can be subtle, like desire for profit, adoration, and distinction. And then the desire to become the Lord. So even if one becomes a yogi in Himalayas, if he's carrying his mind with him, which is material, then unlimited, unbelievable, unimaginable desires will manifest in the cave of Himalayas filled with snow. The desire will still prop up there also. So Prahlad Maharaj says in Bhagvatam, what is the use of going to forest or to mountains in Himalayas if we carry our 6 wives with us, then the prapancha or the household life continues even in the cave of Himalayas. Interesting. Who are the 6 wives? The mind and the 5 senses are the 6 wives which haunt the soul, which makes the soul bewildered, which makes the soul become like mad, to run behind object to object to object, like a mad, haunted person. So what is the use of wearing saffron? What is the use of shaving the head and appearing to be virakta or detached or renounced personality, if we still, provide food to the mind in the form of desires? So, interestingly, these kind of mystic perfections are available by birth in the higher planets as natural gifts. They can do amazing things, and these things are very subtle, and they attract the soul to go there and enjoy. Like there are planets, where one can fly right from birth. They have wings, like we have seen angels in a biblical philosophy. Angels, they're always with wings. Beautiful ladies, beautiful men, demigods. They're always shown in the picture as, as having wings. So one can fly. Today also we think, oh, can I fly from one mountain peak to another mountain peak like a bird? It's a desire. Because I want to not travel for 6 hours. I can just fly at the best of my desire. And there are so many other things that one can do. One can disappear. One can appear. There are so many mystic yogis, They appear sometimes in Delhi, and sometimes in Vrindavan, sometimes in Himalayas. There are Naga Babas also in Himalayas. They stay in the depth of Himalayas, and they suddenly appear through Ganga river all the way to the place where Kumbh Mela is going on. Either Nasik or Ilhabad, Triveni Sangam, or Ujjain, or Haridwar. They appear there, they take their bath of Kumbh Mela, they get in the water, again they disappear and appear where they are in Himalayas. But that doesn't guarantee liberation. Mystic powers, there are 3 kinds of attractions. Bhukti is gratification. You want to enjoy something through senses, eating, so many things are there. That is bhukti. And second thing is, it's also material attraction. It is called mukti. That means liberation. Liberation from the cycles of birth and death altogether. I don't want to enjoy anything. But even that desire to get out of cycles of birth and death is also a material desire. It doesn't have to do anything with the Lord. Simply, even without believing in the Lord, you can practice and get detached from the material world, vairagya, and get liberated. It doesn't mean anything. It will not satisfy the soul. It will just make you feel, oh, I don't want all these things. But you don't know what you want and what you need. And there is third attraction for the soul who is conditioned in the material world. What is the third attraction? Mystic yoga. Miracles. I raise my hand and you get healed of your cancer. I touch you and a mad person becomes sane. I touch an old man and he becomes young and beautiful. I touch an old wrinkled woman and she becomes youthful, shining. I touch the gums of an old man and their beautiful teeth come out of it. So this is what we are always desiring. Something mystic, something miraculous. Even right now, I am practicing Krishna consciousness. I just want to have a siddhi. I just want to visit Golok Vrindavan at least for a few minutes and come back. I wish I could go there and come back on vacation at least, if not permanently, Mostly when I come to Himalayas, I feel I should reach there in 1 minute. By the power of my mind, I should just transfer myself from Mumbai to Himalayas because it's so much tiring and vomiting and nauseous, motion sickness is there. So All of us who don't have money, they feel I should have some mantra, then money will come. Those who don't have PhD or higher education, they feel I should become qualified by some mystic power. And many of these desires are out of laziness because we don't want to work hard for them. We just want to get them free of charge as blessing. But most important point I'm trying to mention here, that all of us, even though we are practicing devotees, we have some subtle desire somewhere hidden in the heart that I want to become young again, of 15-year-old boy. That energy, that vigor, that vitality I want to have again. If those who have got bald because of age, they want to become again full of hair by some mystic power. They want to meet some doctor who will touch you and he will make your hair again black all the while, completely. You know? So why this is so? Because why we want? Because we have this desire to enjoy separate from the Lord. And the more we have desire, the more we are actually confirming that we will come back again. But the devotees who are Vaishnavas, who are not trying to trade on the path of yoga or mysticism or liberation, they always know that there is something eternal which I should have. Because my nature is eternal. I am Sat, I am eternal. I am Chit, I am full of knowledge. I seek full knowledge. And I am actually Ananda. I am personification of happiness, bliss. This is my nature. So I cannot get satisfied or settle with something temporary. Why? Even if I go to Brahmaloka, I know Brahma Bhuvanan Loka Punaravriti Arjuna. Krishna is telling Arjuna that even if I go to the highest planet of Brahma, where everything is subtle, nobody looks for a woman or money there. Everybody is subtly enjoying something great, subtle sense gratification of tapasya, mystic powers. Krishna says even there, birth and death is there. They may not get old age and disease, but they take birth with pain and they die also with pain. So, oh dear Arjuna, do not try to remain in the world which is full of birth and death. So devotees who are practicing Bhakti Yoga are very fortunate because they have this knowledge, although they may not be so highly realized, but they have the knowledge that we don't belong here. We belong to the place of eternal love, eternal loving relationship with the Lord. We do not belong to this place of temporary relationships, which is always filled with separations and pains, no guarantee, no sustainability, no assurance of long-term connections. And that is why they are busy always in purifying their senses of all the material desires. They say, the devotees always meditate that I want to do only those things which are pleasing to the Lord. Sam siddhir hari toshanam. I don't want to engage my senses in doing anything that is not pleasing to the Lord and pleasing to myself. There are many things which please us very much, but they don't please the Lord. So devotees always are practicing or working hard or trying their best to do those things which are pleasing to the Lord and if possible to please themselves, but not something to please themselves and not please the Lord. Because those things bind us in the material world, in karma and in karmic reactions and in repeated birth and death. And that is not wisdom, that is foolishness. To do things, to engage our senses, to engage our mind, intelligence, to do those things which bind us. Lokoyam karma bandhanaha. We should not, or rather we are not supposed to engage in those things which bind us in temporary happiness and long-term bondage. So when the senses like Atak Sri Krishna Namadi Bhavet Grahya Indriyai. When engaged, Indriyas are engaged, the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, then the senses are called as pure. When the mind desires things only for the Lord, the mind is considered to be pure. When the intelligence is filled with knowledge of the Lord, not knowledge of the material world, how to progress in sense gratification, but is filled with spiritual knowledge about the Lord, the intelligence is considered to be pure, spiritual. And with this spiritual purified senses, spiritual mind filled with spiritual desires, and intelligence with spiritual knowledge, one can easily reach back home, back to Godhead in the spiritual world. So, one important line Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, that whenever we have some mystic kind of desires, it features domination over the material world. Why do we want to have? Like, why I want to fly? Because I want to dominate over others. That I have something extra than you. You don't have it, and I have it. Or I want to rule a planet because I am the boss, I am the supreme, I can rule everybody. Dominate, control. So the desire to have these 8 mystic perfections is to control, to lord it over. The very basic disease for which we have come in the material world, in the material body, which is dying and suffering, old age and disease and death finally. The root cause. And even after we have made the mistake with the root cause, still after coming here, we foolishly continue to do the same thing. I mean, we don't have to become Indra to control the demigods. We just want to control the family that we are living in. Or the table that I sit in the office, or the chair, I want to control that. Or 2-3 people who work under me, I want to control them. Or if I don't control anybody, then the person who comes to sweep and clean, housekeeping person in the house, I want to control him also. By giving some money, I want to control him. So this is the disease that we have. To control, to be Lord, to take Lord's position. But by doing this, we forget to understand that it just keeps us giving suffering. Because even the housekeeping person who takes money from you and keeps your house, cleans your house, is not in your control. The moment you stop giving money, he just kicks on your face and goes away. He cares a damn for you. So the control is only till the point you give money to him every month. The moment you stop, control is finished. Such puny, meaningless controls we assume in the material world. And some people, they assume the position of, like President of America, and they get shot. Somebody successful, somebody President of India, or father of nation was shot. John F. Kennedy was shot. So, even though we become topmost control of the material world here or the earth over here, you are susceptible to get killed suddenly. So what kind of power and control is this? It's useless actually. We have to understand it's all temporary, it's all baseless. What is most important to understand is we need to get things which are eternal. And eternal things are only those which are connected with the Lord. That's why devotees are practicing very wisely. That I don't want to get entangled into anything that will bring me back in the world again. I want to get engaged in only those things which can free me from this material world of suffering and get me back to the place of happiness, of joy, of bliss, of enjoyment. And that is only one. Yat gatva na nivartante tad dhamam paramam mama. That is my place, Krishna says. It doesn't have sun and moon to give light. It doesn't need. It doesn't have electricity. It doesn't have any other artificial things. It is self-lit by my effulgence. All my living entities, all my living devotees, loving devotees live there serving me in happiness. I live with them happily, they live with me happily. There's no need to go back again when you come back again to the spiritual world. Sri Krishna is advertising, Sri Krishna is encouraging us, coming down, performing pastimes over here, attracting us to come back again. Oh, lost children of mine, please come back. Why you rot here in the material world, birth after birth, suffering the pangs of birth, disease, old age, and death? So it all begins with suffering, not only suffering, realization of suffering will prompt us to think, why? Why all this pain is coming to me? Why? So pain is always there, but one has to realize that there is pain. And one has to seek the way out of the pain or to get out of the pain. And that search, that genuine search leads one to association of devotees. The Lord within the heart directs such a searching soul to genuine association, satsanga. And in that, we learn the knowledge about the spiritual world, the spiritual nature of ourselves. What is the reality of the material world? What is the nature of the soul and what the soul needs? All things we learn theoretically first. Then we engage in practice. And when we engage in practice, like chanting the holy name of the Lord, we do get internal, original, genuine realization that yes, this material world is not going to give me happiness. So what, even if I get wings and I fly from place to place, or planet to planet, I go in spacecrafts, rockets, I may go to the moon. Now there is a travel agency which will take you to the moon with millions of dollars, few days trip to the moon to bring some dirt from there. How does it give you happiness? No happiness. Only I've got dirt from moon you can keep in your showcase. People are keeping in the showcase. So it's just crazy business. You come to know it's all crazy business. Simply by associating with sincere devotees, we come to know that all these things are crazy business. They don't give long-lasting happiness and satisfaction to the soul, which the soul is looking after, looking for. And with this realization, the devotee makes progress and gradually he knows why I'm here and why I'm entangled over here, why I'm not with the Lord now, only because I have still some subtle hidden desires to enjoy sense gratification in the material world. I'm still attracted to the objects of my senses in the material world. And then he becomes serious because sufferings make him realize or make her realize that I don't belong here. I don't like here. Things are always going averse to my nature and to my desires, to my expectations. And that if we continue our association with sincere devotees, then that experience of vairagya which comes in gets settled, gets established, and conviction comes that I need to go back to God. I need to connect with the Lord and go back to Him. And such people who are convinced that we don't belong here, we don't want to be here, and we want to be engaged constantly in service to the Lord personally takes care of them, gives shelter to them, showers His mercy upon them, engages them in His service, gets them purified personally under personal supervision, and actually maneuvers them to go back to Godhead. Some of them become completely pure while living in the material world itself. They are called Jivan Muktas. They are here, but they don't belong here anymore. They are simply in transcendental position, in divine position. Jivan Mukta. Living in the body, but not in the body, not attached to the body, simply attached to the Lord, 100% wholesale. So then what happens? The desire to lord it over the material nature turns into desire to be lorded over by the Lord. And the devotee loves to be dominated by the Lord. The devotee loves to be controlled by the Lord. It's a great happy position for the devotee or for any soul to be controlled by the Lord, to be guided by the Lord, to be dominated by the Lord. It is not subjugation. It is simply going back to original position, original constitutional position in connection with the Lord. Why Sri Krishna loves Brijvasis? Because we are 100% sold out to the desire of the Lord. They don't desire anything except the Lord. In Vrindavan Dham, what happens? The Lord is apparently appearing to be controller, but the love of the devotees actually control him. So do we have desire to control? Yes, all of us have desire to control. So then pathway of bhakti is such a pathway that will control the Lord also, but not out of material desire, out of love. The Lord is not getting controlled by the devotees simply because some mystic power is there in the devotees. No, it is the power of love. Power of love is unbelievably more, or you can say millions and trillions of times more powerful than the power of siddhis or ashta siddhis, the eightfold mystic powers. Because power of love can control the Lord out of love. That is what is wonderful about bhakti. The Lord himself chooses to be under the control of his devotee. The Lord who is not achievable by jnanis or those who are meditating for thousands of lifetimes, for millions of years, the yogis performing Ashtanga Yoga, or those who are performing tapasya for so many lifetimes, or those who are achieving knowledge for lifetimes. They don't even see the glimpse of the Lord, a ray of the Lord coming from his one nail out of millions of rays, when one ray cannot be seen. Such impossible to achieve Lord will be controlled by a devotee by love. In other words, in Brijvasi language, they say that Lord which is not achieved by Ganesha, Shiva, Brahma, by tapasya, by knowledge, by renunciation, that Lord is bound by the hair plaits of gopis. They tie him up in their hair plaits and they rule him. And they tell him, pick up my burden of cow dung cakes. It is very heavy. Lift it and please take it to my home. It's very heavy for me. And the Lord will do that. And then they will say, I will give you some little butter and you please dance. In our Hindi language, they say, palmful. This much butter only. You give and then you dance. And he dances. The Supreme Lord will dance. And then he wants to have more butter. They will say, I will give, dance more. One more set of dance should be there. And he'll dance again to get little bit butter more. And like that, the gopis make Krishna dance. The simple village girls who work with the cows, cowherd girls, gopis, they make Krishna dance and dance and dance at their whims. And Krishna is mad. He cries like mad for them. Why all these things? What mystic powers they have? Do they fly in the sky? Do they create something in the air like a planet by mantra? No. They don't do any mystic powers. In fact, they are sometimes appear like fools, simple fools, They look like very simpleton people. But they have the power of love by which they control the Lord. And the Lord becomes handpicked by their love. He serves them. He massages their feet. He brings water for them. He fans them. He garlands them. He praises them. He runs after them. The Supreme Lord. Such is the opulence of devotees. In front of the opulence of love of devotees, the 8 mystic powers appear insignificant. Moksha laguta krita, Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. The moksha which is so attractive to yogis, to get out of the cycle of birth and death, becomes laguta kruta. That means it becomes insignificant. It has been rendered insignificant. Such is the power of devotion and love. Whatever you call it as a most attractive achievement in the material world appears insignificant to those who love the Lord. Where the whole world is fighting, having wars to have control and to have powers, all those so-called hard work of the materialistic people is insignificant, foolish attempt for those who love God. Because opulence of love of God gets you the Lord. The Lord becomes yours. You become the Lord's property. Lord becomes your property. Krishna is telling Yamaraj that my devotees, I don't know anybody but them. The devotees don't know anybody but me. The only people stay with in my heart is my devotees. The only person stays in my devotees' heart is me. We don't know anything beyond this. This is what knowledge I have. This is what Lord is telling Yamaraj. Yamaraj is getting bewildered. Who are these devotees? What does this devotee mean? I thought I control everybody. I bring them, drag them from their body to their next body. I have so much power and control. But the Lord is describing a different species who are not to be controlled by me. He's warning me that I am their property, they are my property. I think of them, they think of me. They reside in me, I reside in them. And nothing else we know beyond these three things. Amazing. The Brahma is doing salute to this description of the Lord, So it is better to be a fool in front of a material world, in front of people in the material world, and better to be liked and loved by the Lord. What is the use of being adored and being distinguished in the material world? Finally, we are going to die. There may be a nameplate on the road on your name at the most, and that also will be destroyed in the course of time. What is the use? It is better to be God's man. It is better to tell the senses, do not get entangled here, get entangled in the Lord, so that once and for all you can go back to the Lord. All these things, anima, lagima, mahima, prapti, shitva, vashitva, all kinds of siddhis are simply binding. In fact, the subtler powers you have, the more subtly you will get bound in the material world. A person who's hungry, wants food, his need is very simple. He's not looking for a great thing. But someone who's looking to control over the planet or to create a planet, he is bound more than the person who's hungry looking for food. Is it not true? So it is better to be a fool in front of all the materialistic people who consider themselves as scientists and very advanced, creating atom bombs and creating a lot of technology. They are more entangled and bound because they have such superfluous, subtle material powers. So they bind them subtly, not like grossly. So it is better to be free from these gross and subtle bondages of control. It's better to be a simple devotee of the Lord. When the Lord comes running, to remain under the loving cover of the Lord, of the devotee. Lord comes running to be under the loving cover of a devotee, looking for that love of a devotee. This is our Lord. So bhakti is a very beautiful process. Bhakti is a process which sabhaya bhyantara shuchihi purifies a person from within and without, subtly and grossly. At all levels, the bhakti process will purify the practitioner. And the Lord promises, even if you slip off, I will save you. I will protect you. I will purify you. I will rectify you. Don't worry. Come back. It is okay. If you realize the mistake, I'll forgive you. So Lord is all time there. In our weak moments, in our strong moments, in our slippery moments, in our great moments, all the time, once we say, once we tell the Lord, once, that I am yours, tava asmiti, oh my Lord, I am yours. And the Lord says, Lord Ramchandra has said in Ramayana, when one devotee tells me once that I am yours, in future he may forget, but I am never forgetting what he said. I never forget. And I will birth after birth protect him. That is my promise. He said, even Ravan comes to me, I'll protect him if he surrenders. And that is our Lord. He is man of substance, supreme man of substance, supreme personality of substance. He's not talking something out of the mouth like air, air coming out and in and out. Whatever he says is eternal. When he says once, it is eternally applicable that I will protect you. Do not worry. Ma shuchaha. So why do we have to run behind this Ashta Siddhi and desire to travel from planets to planets and explore what is there in the moon and what is there in Brahmaloka? We know from here only that there is repeated birth and death there. And there may be attractive, alluring things over there. Who cares? Finally, am I free there? No, I'm bound with birth and death. I don't want to go there. However tempting, alluring, attracting it is to me, I do not want to go there. Firmly, I make a line on the stone that I do not want to go to any higher planet. I will remain on the planet which I am given to live, practice bhakti, and go back to the supreme planet where I will never come back again from. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
And why? Why we want to go there? Because there the Lord is performing his loving pastimes with all of us, will perform with all of us, already performing with many of them, attracting us, performing his Leela to tempt us, to come back to him, to be reunited with him in love. It's very beautiful. Every word is a song there. Every step is a dance over there. Everybody is beautiful and fragrant. No more bound with birth and death. Brahma explains how beautiful is spiritual world. We all belong there. It's our home. The address that we have, the body that we have is temporary. Our permanent address is Goloka Vrindavan. With Sri Krishna, with Radha, with Gopas, with Gopis, with cows. All wish-fulfilling cows. Trees which are wish-fulfilling. Sand, the earth particles, dust particles are wish-fulfilling. Chintamani. Chintamani. Prakara sadmashu kalpa vriksho. Laksha vriteshu surabhir abhipalayantam. Lakshmi sahasra shata sambrama sevimanam. Govindam adi purusham tamam bhajami. Such is the place where we are going to live. It's just a matter of one lifetime here of chanting Hare Krishna under the guidance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings and his devotees. Just offer this one small lifetime to Lord Chaitanya, who is represented by Srila Prabhupada to us. Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And the Lord assures us, if in this golden period of Kali Yuga, 10,000 years from 1486, if you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra sincerely with dedication, I will take you back home, back to Godhead. That is Lord Chaitanya's promise. How easy it has been made for us by Lord Chaitanya. This is Supreme Leela. Rest all other Leelas are good, but this is Supreme Leela. To take you and me back to Godhead, assuring us, just do this much. We all will be with the Lord one day at the end of this very life. No more life again. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We thank you very much for such a beautiful class for Krishna. Dear devotees, if anyone has a question, a comment, realizations, you may do so.
Pardon me, speak a little louder.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I wanted to request of you, since you are at such a holy place, the Himalayas, it seems there is something special going on because you are like the third devotee that has come on here who has shared with us that they are at the Himalayan. So we pleading with you that you share with us the blessings you are getting from being in such wonderful.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
First and foremost, as per Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Himalaya, I am the Himalaya among the mountains. That means Himalaya is non-different from Sri Krishna. Among the rivers, I am Mother Ganga. So Ganga is non-different from Krishna. She is a river, she is a Devi, she comes from the lotus feet of the Lord, from the toe of the Lord. She is Vishnu Padagamini. So when we come here, we are enveloped by the Lord from all the sides in the form of Himalaya and in the form of Bhagirathi Ganga. Two powerful presences of the Lord are here to give shelter to us, to help us to go within. This place is very powerful place. There is so much divine spiritual power here that just by being here, it helps you to go within yourself, to know yourself, the depth of your own self. You will come to know here. You'll feel the japa and the meditation are so easy over here, so natural over here, because everything is so divine. Even from material point of view, the air is pure. There are a lot of oxygen here, a lot of trees, a lot of natural ingredients available, organic food. These are all externally purified atmosphere. But certainly on the platform of spirituality, this place is very, very, very rich. Only one has to connect sincerely from within. This place is not meant for sense gratification. If one comes and tries to have sense gratification, good food or bodily enjoyments and luxuries and so many things, then the disasters happen over here. Sadhus explain. I don't explain that. Sadhus explain why disasters sometimes take place in Himalayas. Because people from cities like Mumbai, Madras, and Chennai and Delhi, they come over here to enjoy. They drink wine at the bank of Ganga. They do nonsense activities, in Badrinath or whatever. So then the nature reacts. Lord Shiva reacts to them in the form of his destruction to wake us up that this place is to attain spiritual realization. This place is meant to take you within, to help you to journey within. And little amount of time you get, you can feel that connection with the Lord through the Himalayas, through the Mother Ganga, to the sound vibrations of the flow of Ganga. One can feel connected with the Lord. There is a deep divinity over here.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
I can go on and on till the clocks come home. But suffice to say that this place is for introspection, internalization, to connect to the self and to the Lord from within the heart, not from externally. Yes, Hari Chakra Prabhu, you can show yourself and ask question.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I'm so inspired that you are, I think, driving a bus, I think, looks like.
No. Thank you very much for your class. And there are a few things that you said that I'm trying to deliberate on. And one of those things is how you were talking about why the material world, everybody wants to control. And no matter how much you try to control, you still lose. And then you explain also in the spiritual world how the gopis, they don't want to control, but they just want to express their love to Krishna. And because of that love they are expressing to Krishna, automatically Krishna comes under their control.
Yeah.
And in this way, they will tell Krishna that dance a little bit and we'll give you a little bit butter. And Krishna will dance for butter. And so, like, if you also bring it here into our situation now, like, if you are a parent, for instance, if you are a parent and you show so much love to your children, and then the children automatically submit themselves to you because you are expressing such deep love to them. They think they are, if they feel they are obligated to do something to, please you somehow or the other. So, what is the difference between that love, that if you actually try to express love to somebody here in this our world, and because of the love you are expressing to the person, based on that love, the person also feels like obligated
This
to
love,
also do something to.
however attractive this world, this love is temporary, and that love is permanent. This love
Okay.
will end by somehow other intervention by the material energy, by the Prakriti, by the Bahiranga Shakti of the Lord. The love will be interrupted by either with time, power of time, somebody will die of the two and the love will end, or this love itself will fail after some time.
Okay.
And with the Lord, when you love, it never fails. It increases day by day, moment by moment, and finally culminates in the meeting of the Lord to live with Him eternally. But those who love Lord, they must love their kids, their relationships, their people, because it is the expression of that eternal love to the people in the material world. So they also will respond favorably. But finally, we know that however we love people in this world, it will be ending very soon with the power of time. And that is the major difference. So we love selflessly without expectation. And if something comes, fine. It doesn't come, also fine. But eternally, we love the Lord because we know the response from there is permanent. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
I really thank Govindas Prabhu, who is
Yeah,
driving. Who is driving?
yeah.
I can see the driving wheel.
I think he pulled over. Governor Prabhu, hold on for a second, please. We just wanted to formally recognize the presence of His Grace Srivas Vanachari Prabhu. He's been here with us. So Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, and thank you for being here. Hare Krishna.
It's my pleasure to hear Dr. Vishwarupdas
Hare
speak.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
How are you doing? You're fine?
By Krishna's mercy, we are doing well.
Jai. So nice to see you and have your darshan.
Hare Krishna, I'm enjoying your darshan.
Hare
Your
Bol.
Himalayan black coat.
Huh? Huh?
Himalayan black coat.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's the Himalayan black coat.
Because it's cold here, so I couldn't want to only wear kurta. I had to cover myself with a jacket.
Hare Krishna, Vishwarup Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Prem Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat. Hare Srivas Prabhu, Hare Krishna. You remember me?
Hare Krishna, your face is familiar.
I was the one who operated on you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that service.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Bol.
So Govinda Prabhu has question.
Yes, so Governor Prabhu, please, you may unmute and go ahead. Oh, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, please accept my respectful obeisances.
Please accept mine.
All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to you, all glory to your service to Srila Prabhupada. And Srivas Vanachari Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, and my obeisances to you all, the devotees on the platform. Prabhuji, I would like you to clarify this point for me. I've been working on this very point, and it's been discussed on this platform, but I still want you to throw light on this very, very point. You know, the living entities, the conditions in the material world are by the moves of nature. And so there's birth, death, old age, and disease. Here in the material, in the earthly planet, and also in the heavenly planet. And so our activities are always two. Sometimes we do good, and sometimes we add wrongly. But in any case, we are getting reaction to our activities. So in the course of your lecture, you made mention of, the yogis going to heaven planet and then enjoy the results of the activities. But at the end of the day, they have to come down again. So my question is, and also Lord Krishna explains in the Gita that the unsuccessful yogis go to the higher planetary system and enjoy the credit of the activities, and finally they come back here again and they take birth in the various societies, or this and that, become rich and all that. My question is that, does the living entity accrue pious credit in the heavenly world? Do we act piously in heaven and get credit? And if we can get credit in the heaven planet, then why don't we continue into a higher realms rather than to come back here into the earthly planet again?
Okay. So the reality is like this. In heavenly planets, there is no possibility of creating more karma, good or bad. In the hellish planets also, there is no possibility of creating papa karma or punya karma there. There we go only to exhaust our existing account that we have created here. Karma can be created only here in the material world, in the earthly planet. Punya karma or papa karma. And when punya karma is accumulated, that takes us to heavenly planets, enjoy heavenly pleasures till the credits are there. When the credits are exhausted, we have to come back again to the original place in the material world. We go to hellish planets and we have account of sinful activities, and we go and suffer the sinful reactions of the sinful activities. When the account gets over, again we come back. And here we come and we create the bad activities and good activities again. So there's no question of performing pious activities in heavenly planets. We only go to enjoy the results of pious activities performed over here, over there. And even there, everything is temporary. Even the Indra has to come down after some time, once the karma is over. So it's actually a very bad bargain to go there. Because when you go there, you get attached to things over there. And then when you get attached to things over there, you are kicked out of that place. And when you come down here, you again are relishing or going through mediocre things compared to the heavenly planets, and you get frustrated over here. It's like, I give example, when you are living in a one studio apartment, and then you get promoted to 3-bedroom hall apartment, big one, and you stay there for 10 years, and then you lose money, you lose your business, so you sell the house and again come back to studio apartment, one room. What happens? We just cannot anymore stay there. We have stayed there before happily, but now because we are used to staying in a bigger apartments of many bedrooms, we can't come back and enjoy the same single studio room which we have been living before. This is the problem. We go to heavenly planets and get attached to the enjoyments over there. The impressions of the enjoyments are there in the soul and the subtle body. We come back in the material world, we become very unhappy, very uneasy when we are in the material world in the earthly planet. So it's a very bad bargain. That's why I said very bad bargain to go to the heavenly planets. Never go, because you are not going to get satisfied with temporary things, however great they are. If it's temporary, it's not going to satisfy. So better wait here on the earthly planet, wash off all the punya karma, wash off all the papa karma, and only accumulate spiritual karma or akarma. Gather them enough quantity so that with the help of those we can go back to spiritual world. And it is not like Shane Punya Martaloke Vishanti. Again, you don't have to come back after you exhaust. No. With the credit of the spiritual activities, you enter the spiritual kingdom, never to come back again in the material world. Does that answer your question?
Yes, probably that answers the question. But again, so one goes to heaven only to enjoy his pious credits.
Yes.
So if that's the case, then why do they fall sick?
What is that?
Why do they fall sick? And then there are doctors like Swahini Kumar, Swahini Kumaris are there to treat patients. So if they only go there to enjoy, then why do they suffer from disease?
As far as I know, in the heavenly planet, there is no disease or minimal disease is there. Major disease and major old age is in the earthly planet. Very minor experience of disease and old age, hardly old age is there in the heavenly planets. I would say there is no old age in the heavenly planet, only birth and death, in between enjoyment and coming down again after death. And there are doctors like Kumaras and there are Vaidyas, but the bodies are so healthy and so beautiful and so enjoying. They hardly have any work, and they work mainly in the material world by giving the knowledge to the material world people. This is the right sciences like Ayurveda for the material world in the earth, but they are not so much useful in the heavenly planets. But enjoyment, material sense gratification is very, very deep and subtle over there. Unbelievable. Most entangling and most binding. But no new karma.
All right, thank you, Prabhu.
No new karma created. Only the karma which you have carried from here is in action there. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Anybody else has any question?
Yeah, anybody else? Yeah, Harichakra Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm making a follow-up question to the question Govinda Prabhu just asked. So if that is the case, then how is it that people who are enjoying in the heavenly kingdom, they still sometimes get cursed and come down? Yeah, they get cursed. Cursed.
Cursed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because because of disrespect to sadhus. Like Durvasa Muni comes there with the Maha garland of Vishnu to give to Indra. And then Indra is giving it to the elephant, and the elephant is trampling the garland under his feet. So then, even though you are supposed to enjoy the fruits of your pious activities, you get cursed. That is possible. Durvasa will curse Indra that you lose your power and the demons will overpower you and usurp your kingdom. So slippery, the slipping possibility is there. It's like, you only destroy your own pious karma by your bad activities in this heavenly world. By the intoxication of enjoyment with apsaras. Indra was intoxicated with the enjoyment of dancing apsaras, and he could not respect the Mahaprasad garland of Mahavishnu from the spiritual world. So Durvasa cursed him that you will lose all your power. So within the heavenly planet also, Indra lost all his power, kingdom, and demons took over, and Indra had to hide with demigods in the caves, again run to the Lord and to save him. And Lord appeared, and then demons are annihilated. Again, Indra is back in the position in heavenly planets. But all that happening inside the life in heavenly world is also temporary. This is within the life of enjoyment. There is anxiety, there is insecurity, there is possibility of sinful activities, the possibility of performing mistakes, offending Vaishnavas, getting cursed. It's all possible there. Another reason why it is a bad bargain to go to heavenly planets.
Okay.
Indra there always is worried who is performing tapasya on the earth, who will take my position. Already having one eye on the earth, sending apsaras down to disturb their meditation. So much anxiety, so much of insecurity is there. To lose the control that he has. This is the position of the highest man in heavens, Indra. What to speak of common demigods. They're not as powerful, as enjoying as Indra. So you have to understand, it is totally a bad bargain to desire or aspire to go to Swargaloka.
Hello,
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, the other follow-up question is, I've heard that like if everybody who goes to Brahmaloka, like if you stay in Brahmaloka and there's time for Brahma to pass away, then all the inhabitants of Brahmaloka along with Brahma, you all go back.
Yeah. Brahmaloka has a facility by the arrangement of the Lord. If you reach Brahmaloka, then there is a possibility to go directly from there back home, back to Godhead. But reaching Brahmaloka is not easy at all. It's extremely difficult. It is easy to go from here back to Godhead, Krishna, much easier than to go to Brahmaloka and from there go to spiritual world. To go to Brahmaloka, one has to perform lot of tapasya to qualify to be there. But not so much tapasya is required to go back to Godhead from earthly planet. Just chant Hare Krishna. Sincerely, attentively, offenselessly, following four principles, serving devotees, chanting, dancing, feasting, prasadam. One can easily go back to home, back to Godhead from here. But that is a detour. Yes, possibility is there theoretically. Very difficult. Very difficult. Okay?
So does that mean whilst you are in Brahmaloka, you don't exhaust your pious activities?
Yes, we exhaust pious activities. But there's a facility given there. Along with enjoying the subtle happiness, subtle pleasure, there's a possibility of going back to Godhead by the grace of the Lord, by the agency of Brahma.
Okay. All right. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare
Yes, give
Krishna.
darshan, please.
Hare Prabhuji, Darshan.
Yeah, I feel impersonal. What to do?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat. But
Yes.
in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Abrahma Bhuvana Loko Punaravartino Arjuna.
Yes.
So that means some of them, they come back.
Everybody comes back, not some of them.
No, from Brahmaloka.
Everybody who don't desire to go, who don't qualify to go back to Godhead, all of them come down.
But just now we had discussion that everybody goes back to Brahma, back to Golok.
No. There is a possibility of going. Facility is available. Not that everyone takes the facility. See,
Achha.
it is very important to have the desire and the effort. If you don't have desire and effort, both you simply enjoying Brahmaloka, then you will have to come down.
Yes.
And everybody comes down except few fortunate people who are aware and they take the opportunity and benefit and go back to Godhead from there.
Okay. Thank you, Guruji.
Yes.
Thank you for wonderful class. I enjoyed your explanation for the Siddhis. Very nice explanation. I never heard such all details I never heard before. Thank you very much, Guruji. And similarly for the Uttar Kashi, you gave so much inspiration that we should come there.
Yes.
Thank you, Guruji.
It is divine place.
Yes.
Yes.
His Grace Srivas Manachari, you have something to share, please?
When Vishwarupdas Prabhu is speaking, giving us all this nectar, what do we have to say? Just drink the nectar.
Hare Krishna. The Bhagvatam is full of nectar. Bhagavatamrita.
Hmm.
So we are just repeating the Amrita, taking it and giving it. So it is nectar, it was nectar, it will be nectar. That is the whole point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Prabhuji, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Yes,
Hare
yes.
Krishna, you have something to say?
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, please.
I'm just doing a follow-up question again because
Good.
I'm getting sometimes it looks as if my doubt is being cleared. Then somebody asks another question and I get a little bit confused again. So, okay, now the question I'm asking is, Prabhu just said that when Mataji came to make a follow-up for my question, Prabhu just said that there is a facility that is given to those in Brahmaloka. And those whoever takes advantage of it, then when the time comes, you go back home, back to Godhead. Okay. Similarly, we know that on this our planet, there are facilities that has been allotted to us that as long as we are able to surrender completely to Krishna or Guru, those who take advantage of it, they get promotion
back.
and go back home, back to Godhead. Okay. So if Brahmaloka has also that option that people can either take advantage of the situation or not, doesn't it mean that they are also performing like accruing karmic reaction for the
No,
activities over
they're
there?
not creating new karma, but they're exhausting their collected karma brought from earth.
Mm. Mm.
It is huge. It's long period of time, lakhs of years, millions of years. But it is going to get over one day if they're not conscious of the opportunity available. So they will enjoy subtle happiness of tapasya for a long time. It will be over and they'll come back again. Otherwise, Krishna wouldn't have said, "Ah Brahma Bhuvanar Loka Punaravrittino Arjuna." Krishna wouldn't have said that. He would have excluded Brahma Loka. But he has included Brahma Loka also. From topmost to the lowermost planet, every planet is a planet of repeated cycle and birth and death. That is interesting. Everywhere, everybody is exhausting their either pious activities or sinful activities. And everywhere, everybody is again coming back to the earthly planet. And we have fortunately already come here on the earthly planet. And we have the opportunity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's era of 10,000 years. We are within that era. So why think of all these things? Where is the opportunity available? Where is not available? Better to take opportunity here with full concentration and get out of this place, back home, back to Godhead. That is the wisdom we should adopt.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
So much.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sri Govinda, yes.
Yeah, Prabhuji, looks like the same question is being thrown to you back and forth because because we are still not clear. We are still not clear about
You can ask
the
till you are
answer
clear.
and yeah. So when you talk of the facilities given to them over there, what kind of facilities is given to them?
Facilities in
And if
Brahma.
if they stay with that facility, then they can go back to God.
So you mean to say enjoying facility or facility to go back to Godhead?
No. I mean, what facility is given to them over there? You said there's a facility provided
Brahmaloka?
for them to,
Brahmaloka.
yeah, in Brahmaloka, yeah.
Yeah. Facility for surrendering to the Lord and go back to Godhead is given to them.
Yeah, so what is that facility?
What facility is available here? Same facility. You surrender to the Lord and Lord will take you back to Godhead. Same facility is there. The situation
So
is
that
different.
means they accrue reaction to that facility. If they take to it, then they can go. There's a condition there. And when there's a condition, if you're able to fulfill the condition, then you are allowed to, for promotion. And if you don't follow that facility, or if you don't take to that condition, then you'll be declined to go. So that means there's a reaction there.
So,
the reaction to the activity,
actually,
the reaction to
the type of facility available in Brahmaloka is the same type of facility available here. Surrender serve the Lord and go back home. Same thing is available here, except the situation is different. The body is different, environment is different, the subtlety is different, everything is different, but opportunity is same. The jiva remains same, the Lord remains same, and the process remains same. If you wake up there,
Okay, Prabhu.
out of the influence of the enjoyment there, we wake up, take shelter of the Lord and go back home. From there, it's possible.
All right, Prabhu, thank you. I will switch the question a little bit. Sorry, Prabhu. Prabhu, my next question is that why is it that performing sinful activities is very, very easy, but to perform pious activities seems to be very difficult?
Because of the influence of the place that we are living in.
Yeah.
This place is governed by Bahiranga Shakti, the Maya Shakti. The very place and the very body that we are in, we are prone to perform sinful activities naturally than pious activities with effortfully.
Yeah.
The influence of the place. In the spiritual world, it is natural to perform loving activities to the Lord. In the material world, the natural activity is sinful activities. Default setting is sinful activities.
Yeah.
But we have always opportunity and independence to change the default setting and deprogram ourselves. There's possibilities available.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. You were talking about even though devotees may be performing devotional service, but still they may have some little bit of material desire.
I'm not able
And-
to understand. Voice is very low.
Let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So I was saying that you were saying in your lecture that in the Qatar that having material desires is very difficult to do without. Most of us, even though we're trying to perform devotional service, but we still have a little bit hidden somewhere. And as you were saying that, I was reflecting on a desire that I used to have. I still have it. And that is how I wish I could speak Sanskrit. You know, I remember there was a time His Grace Srivas Vanachari went out with me. We visited one Indian in Ghana, Africa. And this Indian took Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita cities from us, and he used his hand to cover the English letters. And he read the Sanskrit just like the way you did it. You know, I didn't realize that you were reading the actual Sanskrit writing. So I was moving to the English word, but he covered it with his hand. And when he read it exactly the way Srila Prabhupada has translated it. And today, when you were reading it, you also read it exactly the way Srila Prabhupada has translated it. So my question is, how then is it that people read the Sanskrit as it is, but when they translated it differently until Srila Prabhupada came and then gave us as it is. That's what I'm saying. I wish
What is the question? What is the question? How?
Yeah, I don't understand why others will read the Sanskrit and then give a wrong translation. When people like you who can read the original Sanskrit and understand the translation. Why do they do that?
I would only say, if we have sincerity and humility to accept the acharyas as our saviors, and if we are grateful to them, the moment we become grateful and humble towards our acharyas, they empower us. They immediately empower, and they don't reserve anything. They just give everything to us. We need to adopt gratitude, cultivate humility and respect for our predecessors, acharyas, follow them sincerely. then all that they have will be showered upon us. Everything that Prabhupada could do, everybody else also can do, if we have the desire, because the opportunity is available. We are taking Prabhupada's mercy in tits and bits. That is why we are where we are. If we take Prabhupada's blessings 100%, then we will shine like Prabhupada only. Because that is his desire. He didn't want to have, didn't want to become the only Prabhupada. He wanted to everybody to become Prabhupada like. No, we don't think that we are Prabhupada, but he wanted everybody to become like him and preach the message of Krishna consciousness. So even we, with our feeble attempt, we try our best to do whatever we can in service to Prabhupada. Prabhupada will reflect his persona through us also. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati shown through the persona of Prabhupada. Right? Prabhupada's persona is shining through many acharyas today also. So it can shine through you and me also, depending on the degree of surrender that we have. And the same ease and expertise will be there by the blessings of Prabhupada, by the blessings of Gurudev. The same ease, the same opulence of devotion will be there. It can manifest through an insignificant soul like all of us.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji. And we know you are in India. It's quite late your time. And we truly and honestly appreciate your time, your love for us, being with us every now and then. And it's so beautiful that you're caring for people, not just spiritual, but for their material needs also. Like we heard, there are a few devotees, especially from Africa, who have benefited from you and other devotees in terms of health. We say health is wealth. So we can't thank you enough for the help yourself and many other devotees, especially the medical doctors helping the devotees worldwide. And we can only pray to Guru and Krishna that they give you all much more energy, strength, wisdom to continue to help us all in various ways. So with that said,
a good fortune.
Thank you.
Thank
With
you.
that being said, we're going to humbly request all the devotees to kindly unmute, and then we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express appreciation to our revered speaker. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Panchakapatarascha, Kripa Sindhya Eva Chaitana
Pavanabhyo Vasudhyo Namo Namaha.
Hare Bol. Thank you so much.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you very much. Hare Bol.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I take your leave and my humble prayers at your feet. Bless me. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Hare Krishna.